and welcome to my room tour because I have finished setting everything up. So I'm going to walk you through absolutely everything that I put up, and I can take you through the whole room so that you can actually see what my shelves look like. We're just going to do like an in-depth dive on like all of my shelves. So let's get started. The first shelf when you walk into my room is my water shelf, so there's nothing exciting there. It's just water. And then over here is my like art curriculum. So for art right now, I have, let's see here, I've got cutting, I've got like collaging. There is a dauber work. I really am a big fan of like daubers, like the bingo daubers with kids, so we've got to work for that. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you remember these from when you were a kid, these like little hole punchers, but they've got specific like little shapes in them. That is out for them to do. Play-Doh is out, and I found like cute little like Easter cookie cutters that they can use to cut the Play-Doh with, so they've got that. And then these little mini paint palettes that they can work with to practice painting. They're just cute and tiny. Bead stringing, I've got a whole work for bead stringing. Bracelet making, there is a work for lacing is what I should call it. And then a couple sewing works at the bottom here, like a couple Easter themed sewing works. And then I've got these cool little like tracing wood stencils. These are really cool paint pens from Amazon. They like, you squeeze them and paint comes out of them. So that's on the shelf. I've got some cool like stencils, springy. I've got a St. Patrick's Day one, things like that. There is a painting work there. Another like lacing practice, more paint. This actually came from the workshop. So it's a bunch of like wooden shapes with special wood glue, and then they can glue those down to like wood blocks, which is really cool. They are a big fan of that work. They love it. I've got my easel over here. We love painting. I found these cool like gigantic paint palettes that are fantastic. Those are also on Amazon. 10 out of 10 recommend that. Next stop on my shelf tour, if you're just tuning in, next stop is my sensorial curriculum. This one's pretty basic. Nothing about this changes like dramatically. It stays pretty consistent. Change things like they're pretty consistent. So like the red rods, the brown stairs, the knobless cylinders, I've got the sound cylinders, bells, all of the boxes over here, my geometric solids. Yes, the tempura cakes, I love them. They're so cool. I've got all of the shape drawers and then the botany cabinet here, which is awesome. I don't know how many rooms, how many Montessori classrooms, Selena, obviously. What kind of a question is that? Yeah, I have the bells here. The bells are fantastic. I have to just ring one for you because I need you to listen to their sound. They're so cool. Like the pitch is perfect. I just think the bells are beautiful. So we have our bell cabinet, okay? And then in my geography area, we've got like the puzzle maps. Do you let the children take materials from one area to use? Yeah, they can take the material off the shelf, like on this side of the room, and choose to work all the way across the room, which is really cool. So it doesn't matter where they pull the work from. They can sit wherever, which is awesome. Now, this is my new shelf. Are you ready? I'm so excited. I'm so proud of myself because I spent all morning staring at this empty shelf and I felt like a failure. And then I feel really good about this. So I'm going to show you. This is science. Yes, I'm about to show you my science curriculum. I'm so excited. Okay, the top of this shelf is sink or float. So I have a laminated card and then a bunch of objects in a basket here and a tub that they're going to fill up with water. And then they're going to drop the objects into the tub, and then they're going to decide if it sinks or float, and they're going to put that object on whatever side of the list it belongs on. And then I even made like a paper that looks just like it, and they can like write in which one goes where and then take that home if they want. And then they have the freedom to choose like other objects in the room if they think that they want to try out other objects. So that's on the first shelf. And then on the second shelf, this is from Etsy. It's like a little volcano making work. It's so cool. I think it's awesome. So they get baking soda and vinegar, and then there's like this little mini volcano. and they get to like watch it erupt. So I made the vinegar red to look like the lava or the magma, which is really cool. So there's that. And then we're gonna make like lava lamps. Yes, I buy things from Etsy all the time, like all the time. I love Etsy. The next thing that I put out on the shelf, which I'm really happy about, is like lava lamps. So they have Alka-Seltzer tablets, water, vegetable oil, and they're gonna like mix all of those into whatever you call this, a vase. No, not with my money, the school. I have like a budget to buy these things. So I ran to Walmart today with the school credit card and I had some fun. Anyway, there's this. This is your classroom tour. Yep. So I have, this work. And then on the bottom here, Washika's really cool. They have these like little readers and they're leveled in like order of the rainbow here. My budget for the year, every child pays, I think it's $75 or $100 is their supply fee. So times that by every child, and then that's my budget. So then I can order things in bulk and do that. So that's my consumable budget. So things that are consumed, like pencils and like things that are consumed. Yeah, that's that budget. It comes from like the $75 supply fee that the parents pay. And then I have like an actual budget for materials, and I believe that's $1,000 a year. Don't quote me on that, but I'm almost positive that's correct. So yeah, this came from Washika a while ago. It came in a big pack, and each one of these is a leveled reader book, and they're so cool. An outfit check. I look like a bum today. I'm wearing an Avalanche shirt because I'm a big Avalanche fan. And then I found these really cool like Toy Story pants at Target a while ago. They're pretty sweet. Anyway, moving on. Next, they're going to do like a cloud work. So I've got a booklet for types of clouds, and then the different like control sheet for types of clouds. And then they're going to use the shaving cream and the water, and they can make like drop the thing in. I don't know if you've ever seen that. There's no school today sweats because I'm literally the only person at school today. It is spring break, so I should be at home, but here I am, and that's okay. Anywho, finished this, so I'm very proud of that. So this is my science shelf. I also like panicked when my Amazon box didn't come in yesterday, and I like sprinted to Target, and I found bird feeders at Target. So I hung up a bird feeder and put bird seed in it, and I'm like kind of hoping we actually have birds out there. So that's really cool. Okay, moving on. We're over in practical life now. So the top is like one of my favorite practical life works. I have egg chalk and then a bowl for salt, and they pour the salt into this bowl. And then when you take the colored egg chalk and you like swirl it around in the bowl, it colors the chalk or the sand, and it's so cool. So then we like pour it into this vase here, and it like patterns the vase. It's so cool. And then the next one is just like simple flower arranging. I found this thing at Michael's, I think. Yeah. And it's like this, it's one big piece. It's connected with different size vases. And I found some fake flowers, and they're going to get to like arrange them on the tray, which is really cool. Yeah. And then I've got this cute little spooning work with these adorable little vases, which I love. And then I've got seashell sorting. So they get to sort the little seashells out into a little box here. And then I found these cool little flower things, and I have these sweet tongs from Amazon, which is awesome. I loved those. And then at the dollar store, I found these cool like plant clips to practice like good fine motor strength. And they're just going to clip those around this, which is awesome. And I don't know what side of TikTok you're on, but if you have seen the TikToks with these little birds, they're my favorite. So I went and found a whole bunch of them, and they're going to be tonguing them back, or tweezing them, back and forth. It is okay to feed birds in my area. I already checked. I love that you were thinking about that because, yeah, I checked. We're good. Don't worry about it. We're good here. No problems here. And then there's just like pom-poms that they're going to separate the purple and the black ones out into a tray like this. And this one is really cool for fine motor development just because of the way that the handle is. This is on Amazon. It's just really good to like work with pencil grip. And then this is one of my favorites. I am obsessed with this. The art teacher at school actually drew this for me. It's a gumball machine, and they're gonna use these like little bamboo tongs or tweezers and put out pom-poms. like in the gumball. So that's really cute. I love that. And I'm so thankful that she made that for me. Yeah, now we're moving on to the wet shelf. Welcome to the wet shelf. I found some rubber duckies. I'm going to float them in water, and they're going to pincer grip them back and forth between tubs. They're like multicolored ducks. And then I've got this simple pouring work here. And they'll start with one pitcher and then pour it into 3 different sized containers. I found this at Michael's. It is a gigantic flower like cake maker thing. I have 24 students in my room, and spring break is right now, which is why there are no children here. So they're going to use a turkey baster, and they're going to baste the water like back and forth into the different compartments of this beautifully gigantic flower. I did just make a video. Literally, it should have just posted about what happens if a kid needs to take a walk to calm down. And then I found these little Peeps tray for Easter at like Walmart, I think. And so they're going to use a bowl that'll be filled up with water and like a mini baster. And they're going to baste them back and forth. And then same concept, except this one has got flowers in it and it's like shallower. And so they're going to use a smaller baster. And then they are big fans of a syringe. So we syringe water back and forth, and they love it. Love it. Oh my gosh. I'm pretty sure these are still being sold at Target, but this is a literal pitcher. And it's a bird. So I found it, and they're going to pour water into this like really cute floral bowl that I found. And then this, I believe, is, I think it's for like mincing garlic, to be honest with you, but they use it to like wring out sponges, and they love it. And then I've got rock scrubbing over here. So that is my practical life shelves that are garlic press. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. So those are the practical life shelves that I just spent the past 6 hours putting out, but we're moving on. We're moving on to, I guess I didn't change anything in this area, but we can pass the language area. We're passing it. And if you've been following along with me, you would know I was very stressed for like the past 24 hours because a package that I ordered from Amazon was supposed to arrive yesterday, and Amazon just decided they didn't want to deliver it for like another week. So I went into like full-blown panic mode yesterday because I was supposed to have 3 hours to set all of those materials up yesterday, and I had all this big stuff planned, and then found out the box got delayed, and like I panicked. So I did what I could yesterday. I ran to Target last night, ran to Walmart this morning, redid basically everything, and I'm done, and I'm so excited. So let me show you what I've come up with. This is really cool. This book was a gift to me, so it's like literally... it's like a photo album, but it's pictures of different flowers with the cursive writing and then print writing for them to just flip through. Yes, I did it. I know. I'm so happy. And that's going to sit, that'll be the very first part of the shelf, just pictures of flowers for them to look at and learn the names of. I found these fake tulips at Target last night, and I'm just going to do it as like a matching activity. So there's 3 different types of, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the package yet. To be completely honest with you, I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. So some of the stuff in there is for Mushu, and it's like my bearded dragon, and it should have arrived a while ago. So like I had all this like decorations for him, and they didn't show up. So I'm going to have to I'm hoping to keep it. I left some space on the shelves here. So if it comes and it still looks like it's going to fit into the curriculum, I'm going to keep it. So we'll see. But anyway, went to Target, found these fake lilac lilies? No, tulips. Thank you. Tulips. Haha. They're called tulips. I will show you Mushu at the very end. He's like way over there. But anyway, so I found these tulips. I'm going to do it as a matching activity. I'm actually having them sit in like an actual vase on the shelf. So they'll pull the vase off and then they can like match up the colors of the tulips. This one I also put together at Target. I'm like really proud of this one actually. So I found these like fake flowers and this little basket, and then they're literally just going to I put beans at the bottom and then like the Easter basket stuff on top, and they can just practice like literally sticking them in like you would a garden, and they like stay, which is awesome. And yeah, I think that one's really cool. I'm like really proud of that one. And I'm going to go up in the loft. Yes, the loft is right there, so it'll be my next step on the tour because I added some new books to it. So then I have this little booklet here, and it's it's like not all the different kinds of flowers, but it's a couple different kinds of flowers, made by Missy Montessori. So if you've not been following along, she's my favorite. I love her. I'm obsessed with her. Never met her. Think she's great. Yes, kids can do activities with their friends. Yep, I'm actually going to get to one here in a second that is for 2 people, so it's on the other side of the shelf. And there's like a coloring sheet booklet that goes with this little floral booklet, so they can like practice coloring in different types of flowers like as they are. And then once a week, I do this all year long. Once a week, a child can have their parents can sign them up to bring in flowers once a week, every Monday. So every Monday is a different child's day to bring in flowers. I try to switch my curriculum out once every like month and a half, 2 months, sometimes a month. It kind of depends, like seasonally, what our calendar looks like. It really depends. But the last stuff that I had out was up for a month and a half. So, and this stuff will probably be out till the end of the year. So it depends. But anyway, so every week a new child will bring in a new bouquet of flowers, and it's just like the flower arranging curriculum. So I teach them how to cut up the stems, fill up vases with water, arrange flowers, and then they can put those vases wherever they want in the room. But every Monday, a new child comes in. Yes, go Avalanche. A new child will bring in new flowers, and so we have to find out what to do with the old flowers. So I have this pestle and mortar, and they're going to take the petals of the flower, there's the word, and they're going to crush them up into the bowl, and then those crushed up petals can be stored here, and I'm going to have the high schoolers show them how to make soap, because I think that would be really cool, like floral scented soap, which is awesome. And then I've got this painting sheet where they can paint a little flower in. And then on Amazon, I found these like marker stamps. I don't know if you remember as a kid. Oh, I can't get them open. They're like the stamp. So they're just going to stamp flowers into paper, which I think is really cute. And then I found these actual like stamps. They're more like springy. So I have a stamp, like an ink pad, the things, and the little paper to put them on. So really happy about that. The one and only item that shipped separately on my Amazon order and actually showed up on time was this like break apart mold of a flower, and it's got all the parts of a flower on the inside of it. It was the only one that showed up. So that is on the shelf. That's from Amazon. It's like foam, which is really interesting because I really thought it was going to be plastic. So super interesting. Practical Life and Science can get switched however I see fit. I do that, a lot of it is seasonally, specifically for Practical Life, you know, like St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, winter, Christmas, Easter, stuff to like regain their interest on it. With like science and geography and cosmic, it kind of depends on how interested in it they are. Like if they're constantly working on stuff on that shelf, I'm not going to take it away, you know? So like I noticed recently that the human body stuff had kind of like fizzled out. Like their excitement was there, but it wasn't like what it was at the beginning. So it was time to change it. Like I observed that it was time. So anyway, I have that like little flower mold, and then they can cut and paste the parts that match that flower onto this little thing here. And then back to more Missy Montessori stuff. I have a scavenger hunt, so there's words all over this classroom. They can take this sheet of paper, they can put it on a clipboard and go hunt those words down. This is also from Washika. I don't know if you know much about Washika, but these are like little readers, and it's all about like plant life and flower life, and they're just like leveled readers so that they're easy for the kids to understand. And it's like kind of like a 3-part card matching activity, so to speak. So the red one is obviously the easiest one, and then the words slowly get harder as they get to gold. So that's a lot of that is for the older kids. Yeah, now to the other side of the shelf. We're gonna do this top one together, but it's just like I don't know what you call this, but I don't know what you call this. I'm going to put dirt in there and then the seeds, and you're going to be able to watch the like stems grow. So that's that. I don't know what you call that, but it's out. That's something we'll do as like a whole group. I have a journal for it. Yeah. This is really cool. This is one of those like little plant misters and like leaf shine. So plant care and taking care of plants is going to be really cool. Terrarium, there's the word. Thank you. I don't know, drawing a blank. I've had way too much caffeine today. I've been like trying to get all this done. Anyway, I have these. They are like little cards that go, like you're supposed to put them in order of how like the life cycle of a seed essentially. And then I've got these like actual like diagrams of what the actual inside of a seed looks like. So there's like the plastic example ones, but I also have like actual ones like that are crystallized, which is really cool. So that's awesome. And then this also came from Missy Montessori. You're supposed to cut up this and put it on a banner, like on twine. So I have an example copy. You make a banner and it's literally the order of how a seed grows. And I thought that was like super cool. So put that out. They're going to hopefully love that. I'm excited. And then I have the journal that we're going to try to keep as we grow our own plants. So the bottom row here is for them to learn. I don't know if you can see that. The bottom row here, I have little pots for them to pick. There's gloves for us to use. They can pick from 4 different kinds of seeds. And then they're going to use dirt, fill up their own little cup, and we can grow our own seeds or like flowers. And I've got these like little baskets in the window here, and they're going to put their, wait, I'm sorry, I'm trying to read all this. How do they measure learning? I have like, I have an iPad that tracks all of that. Yeah. Anyway, there's not 4 pots. There's like a whole stack of them. So they can pick one out of here, and then fill it up with dirt, put the seeds into the dirt, and then they're in charge of like watering it. We're going to write their names on it. They'll sit up in the windowsill there and they'll grow. Many of these take like basically the rest of the school year to grow, which is kind of why I'm starting now. So yeah. Do I have a network of other Montessori teachers? Yes, I still keep in contact with every Montessori teacher that I trained with. Like we have a group message. We post in it all the time. We post in it about more like Montessori stuff or just about daily life stuff. Like I am constantly in contact with them. So yeah, it's awesome. This is my math curriculum. I did not touch this at all today. Like didn't move it around at all. Yeah, we grew veggies last year actually. So I do everything on a 3-year cycle. So last year was veggies. This year is flowers. But yeah, we do. We have like the special, actually our workshop teacher hand built them, but they're special like growing stands. And we used those last year. So that was awesome. Yeah. What drew me into the Montessori method? The math, independence. I love how free they are to be themselves, the ability for them to move whenever they see fit. There's just like a variety of things that I thought were really cool about the Montessori thing. Yes, there's such thing as Montessori High School. It's 2 floors directly above me. So layout of my school, little kids on this floor, middle-aged kids on the 2nd floor, high schoolers way, way, way up on top, which is awesome. Yes, I'm standing next to the legendary bead cabinet right now. I love it so much. How do I encourage exercise, like movement in the children? It's like kind of built into their day. Like that their whole day is movement. We move all the time. Like unless they're like deeply concentrating on something, they are constantly moving, which is really cool because that actually allows them to encounter a lot of, so to speak, problems throughout the day. So like if I'm moving and I bump into somebody, I'm going to have a problem, but I'm going to need to learn to work it out with them, which is really cool because learning how to work through your problems is so important the younger you are, because then you become an adult who actually knows how to problem solve, which is awesome. Yes, I have circle time twice a day. So once right before lunch and once right before I send them home. And on Monday when they all come back, because I just put so many new things out, our circle time is going to be a little bit longer because I'm going to probably do some of this stuff as a whole group lesson, or else they're just going to fight over it. Unless I get them taught the lesson like right away, they're going to fight over it. But yeah. So, and then at the end of the day, the circle's just kind of like a decompression from the end of the day to help transition them to get home. So yeah, I'm going to go up into the loft now, which I know you all love. So this is like the most awkward angle. I'm so sorry. I don't really know how else to get us up here, but I get to go up here sometimes, not all the time. How many half-day kids do I have? I have 3 half-day kids right now. 2 part-time children, and then the rest of the part-time children are full days on the days they're here. They just come part days because they're part of the homeschool program. And yes, but they're here full days, just not full time. And then there are 3 children who leave at half, if that makes sense. Yeah. I actually haven't wandered upstairs today, but I can if you want, so I can show you the high school. Sometimes some of us lock our doors and some of us don't. And if they're not all here today, I won't be able to like get into their classrooms because I don't have a key to their classrooms. But yes, they do graduate with a diploma. They have to take like required courses, like you have to take math and language. You have to take a certain amount of languages. You have to have gym. Like they have those requirements. It's just how they structure them looks a little bit different. Yeah. Why would a student be half day? Parent decision. Sometimes they're just really young. So the majority of our half dayers are 3. So, and like if they're the first child or the only child, some parents are like, I want them in Montessori, but like they're 3, I'm going to take them at half. And that's totally fair. Like totally fair. So the 3 that do leave at half day, I fully support the parents' decision in them being half day children. They want to go home. Like they love being here, but they're done at 11:30. They're ready to go. They're little, you know. But I do have, like, I started the year. I used to have 4 half day kids at the beginning of the year. And one of them was just like visibly frustrated that he was a half day kid. He was like, this isn't fair. I want to be a full day friend. And he just kept saying that like over and over and over again. So after like 6 weeks into the school year, his mom and I were like, all right, we can move him to full day. So we let him make the decision on his own. And now he's like, he was thriving before, but he is like so happy to come to school because he knows he's a part of absolutely everything. So a lot of times when a child is little and new and it's a first time family and it's their oldest kid, I will often recommend starting like half day and letting the children decide on their own that they want to be full day. Because then it's their decision. Like if the child brings it up on their own, they're more likely to be more successful here during the day because they are the ones that wanted to be here versus feeling like they're forced at being here, so to speak. Anyway, I'm like trying to make the move to the loft without like making it awkward. So it's meant for a child, but I'm doing it. Okay, we're up here. All right, this is the coolest part of this room, I personally think. So the ladder exit or entrance and exit right there. Over here is the CD player with this like little rocking chair that I have. I've got a rug for them to sit on here, some pillows. They can choose to literally just like sit like this and take a break. And what's so cool is just like the view, like literally sitting up here and like looking out is just so cool. Like look at it. It's so cool. I think a lot of times some of the kids literally come up here because they just like want to observe and see their friends from like an aerial view. And that's awesome. So moving on my loft tour, there's my bookshelf. I've got some cool books in here. I really like this one, All Things Bright and Beautiful. We love Pete the Cat in this room. Birds of a Feather. This one's really cool. It's like the Montessori book about our classroom. So it's really hard to find books about teaching and that like they would recognize materials in, because a lot of the books show just like a teacher with a whiteboard, and that's not a familiar concept to them. So finding books that actually reflect the room that they spend all day in is something I really, really try to do, and that book is awesome. Yeah, and then the little table over here, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a coloring sheet that just says I can do hard things, and then there's some crayons. So if they're feeling a little done with the day, they can come on up here and color, and then the coloring sheet reminds them that they can, in fact, do hard things. No, they can't really fit materials up here. I don't know if you saw me try to get up here. It's kind of a tight squeeze. With 2 hands getting up the ladder, they're not gonna be able to really bring anything up there, but I guess if they asked, they could. No one's ever asked, so I've never had that happen. They just kind of know that the loft is like their break space. Ooh, a new book from Pete the Cat. I have Pete the Cat earrings. They are awesome. But yeah, they just know that when they come up into the loft, it's like their place to be like away from everything. They can take a break, they can color, they can listen to peaceful music, they can read a book, they can just sit on a pillow. Sometimes they'll literally just like lie on their stomach and like look out underneath the railing here and just like look. And like that to them is very, very peaceful. I used to have a breathing board up here, but it like stopped getting used. Like nobody used it anymore. So I took it down. So yeah. Pete is pretty groovy. I love Pete the cat. Do any of them nap? Yep, I have 2 kids that actually regularly nap. One, the third one, their parents have asked that they try to nap and they never fall asleep. The back area back here is great because the loft actually blocks the window and it's like really dark. Like I know it's probably hard for you guys to even see back there. Yeah, the loft is my classroom space, safe space, 100%. Yes. Yeah. They do not have to complete activities. Nope. Many of them aesthetically look pretty when completed. Like they look really beautiful when they're completed. So it actually like encourages them to complete it just in the material itself. But no, they're never like forced to complete it. Sometimes I'll try to like trick them into completion, but yeah. But yeah, so they can nap in that back area. It's really dark in the afternoon. I have nap mats and blankets readily available. They know where they're located and they can just say, hey, Miss Nearing, I'm taking a nap this afternoon. Like any kid can say that at any time. I've actually had kids ask to nap in the morning too. So depending on like morning situations, family life, who they are as a person, I can't even stand up at this loft. I hit my head. But depending on who they are, they can choose to nap whenever they want. No one's forced to nap. Some parents have asked that I try to get them to nap. Sometimes I'll get an email at like 7:30 in the morning saying, oh, he woke up way too early. Would you try to get him in a nap today? And I'll do my best. I almost totally just fell down the loft. I don't know if you saw that. I don't come up here very often because it makes me look uncomfortable trying to get in and out of it. But yes, that's my whole classroom. Oh, I also bought this tablecloth. It's so cute. It's got flowers on it. I think I found that at Walmart or Target. I can't remember. But yes, we're on our way to see Mushu. Do I have a limit? No. Maria Montessori actually has a quote that literally just basically tells you, if a child falls asleep, let them sleep. Their body clearly needs it. Obviously, yes, there was clear panic in my face. I legitimately thought I was going to fall. Yeah, they can nap as long as the school day allows for them. Or like if we have a lunch transition or an end of the day transition, I'm going to have to, I have to wake them up, so I'll try to wake them up in enough time for them to like gather themselves, put away everything, wake up fully before their day ends. But yeah, all right. I want you to keep in mind before I show you Mushu, that package that got delayed had all of his stuff in it. All of his stuff and all of my curriculum in it. But there he is. He's sitting on the rock there. I don't know if you can see him. He is like obsessed with this new cage. Yeah. I actually don't know about the high schoolers napping. I don't know if they're allowed to nap, to be honest with you. Do any of the children ask to be held? Yes and no. Sometimes they'll come up to me and be like, can I just sit in your lap? And like, I don't really have a problem with that because they must need like the closeness, so they are free to sit in my lap if they want. But I try not to pick them up because I think it's insulting, because just because they're little doesn't mean, oh my gosh, I cut my lip. Just because they're little doesn't mean that I should always pick them up, because I want to respect their body and I want to respect who they are. Even if just because they're smaller than me does not give me an excuse to pick them up whenever I feel like I should pick them up. So I try not to pick them up, hardly ever, ever do I ever pick them up, but letting them sit on my lap is something that they're free to do whenever they see fit. So yeah, but here's Mushu. He's chilling. I don't know how well you can actually see him. The glare on the thing is kind of bad. He's just hanging out in there. It's been really cool I'm so glad I got him this bigger cage. The look on his face is so funny. When I got him, I was not a reptile fan. I thought reptiles were disgusting, and I still am terrified of snakes and the works, but he is bearded dragons are so much fun. They're a blast. He's got a personality, and fully has one. Fun story about him before I go, because I actually have to get to the gym. I haven't made it there yet. Fun story about him. I had a kiddo a couple years ago who was just fascinated by him, and they would take the string from like the bead stringing work, and they'd put a bead on it and they would dangle it like back and forth in front of him. And when he wouldn't react, they'd trade out the color of the bead until they like got him to react to it. And like they weren't like loud or distracting or banging up against the cage. They would just like swing it back and forth. And he is obsessed with the color red. Like it's his favorite color. So like the red bead on a red string dangled in front of his cage is like the coolest thing ever to him. He loves it. It's like playing a game. Oops, I dropped it. So yeah, it was just a cool like little science experiment that this little 4-year-old took on a couple years back. He's gone from my room now, but he had shown everybody, and he was like, this is how you like get him to react. So I think bearded dragons are just like the coolest creatures ever, which is so weird because if you had talked to me like 10 years ago, yeah. A kid throwing up, it kind of depends. I've got some kids in here who have like food sensitivity and like will literally get food caught in their throat. So them throwing up is just like clearing their throat out. So there's like, you'd be surprised. There's like 4 kids who that happens to on like a daily basis, but they insist on eating that food. Like they love the way it tastes and I can't talk them out of it. So, yeah, they will throw it up and they don't get sent home or anything for that. But if it's like a genuinely sick child, the throw up warrants going home because they're sick and we don't want them to get everybody else sick. So yeah, the good thing is that we have a bathroom in this room. So that's really, really beneficial. But my favorite thing about this classroom, it's a toss up between the loft, the bathroom, the door that leads outside that I still never get to use. And I love Mushu, but I just really like the layout of this room. I think it's really, really cool. So yeah. Do we have hard of hearing or deaf children? There's actually 2 in the school. They're not in my classroom. There's 1 in the room. The other version of my classroom, like the other children's house, has a child who is hard of hearing. And then I believe there's 2 high schoolers that have hearing aids, but don't quote me on that. So yeah, we've got a couple of them. Did you paint something blue? I was working with blue food dye while I was putting out stuff on the science shelf and it spilled all over me. Thank God I'm wearing black today, so you can't actually tell. It's that blue food dye spilled absolutely everywhere. But oh my gosh, I love all these questions and I really wish I could sit here longer. But if I don't make it to the gym, I'm going to get myself in trouble with myself. I have to go to the gym. But if you want me to answer questions, just go ahead and message me or comment it on a video and I will try to respond with a video or just respond to your comments in general. Or I can do another live soon. But I do have to go. Unfortunately, this was my second live. I am trauma informed, not trauma trained, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, all right, I have to go, but I love you all. If you would like me to answer more questions, either message me and I promise I will try my best. Like if you message me on Instagram, it's probably better. Or just comment on a video and I will do whatever I can. I will try to respond. I promise you, I just see so many, it's very hard to. But I love you all. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Have a fantastic weekend. This weekend is the best because it's St. Patrick's Day weekend and we love St. Patrick's Day weekend. So I love you all.